Child support fraud and disability fraud, it's no joke. Like, I am a little nervous for you. I know you're gonna tell me not to be, but I am nervous. Why are you nervous? You know, I'm only being investigated. And I don't even know if I'm really being investigated. This came from a guy I used to work with. He could be BSing me. He could have misinterpreted why the cop was there. You know, like, it's been quiet. You know? I haven't heard nothing, so let's just relax. Feel like if I did something wrong, they would have been here by now. That's the thing, though. The quietness is freaking me out. I feel like we're 2 seconds away from there being a SWAT team at the door or something. You know, it just feels like the calm before the storm. I don't know if it's all in my head, but I don't know, I'm nervous. Look, I don't mean to have an ego, but I'm like the star of this show. You know, this show is built off my back. You really think I'm gonna go to jail when, you know, I bring in a good portion of the views? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the legal team at this show would fight for me, if anything, if it really came down to me, like, being put away. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't really think now's the time to be cocky. And I don't like talking about your ex-girlfriend, Melissa, but she was the star of this show at one point. No, negative or not. She brought in ratings, and where is she? She's in jail. She hasn't filmed an episode in how long? No one's untouchable. You know, and I remember you were gone for a while when you left your family. Don't take that the wrong way, but when you left your family, you weren't on the show for weeks. The show was fine. Tell me that when I disappeared, you know, vanished, whatever word people want to use that sound good, you can't tell me that people weren't asking where I was. All right, I don't know about how the views were affected or anything, but there were still people out there who were like, we need Joey back, this and that. So I really do think people at the show would fight for me, you know? Okay, I kind of think that stuff is all irrelevant because we're talking about real life here and your freedom. I don't think we need to be talking about whether or not you're an asset to an internet show. I think you need to get your story straight for when the police do come and question you about your child support fraud. It's not a sentence I even want to be saying right now. I don't have like a story to remember because I'm not lying about anything. You know, okay, I couldn't work construction because of my injury. So I went on disability and I looked for another job. And then when I took that job, I didn't know that it was on me to tell disability, to tell child services that I was back working. I thought that my job does it. Or I thought that like those offices contact me, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't think it's that easy where you can just sit down with the officer or whoever's going to arrest you and tell them, I made a mistake, or I wasn't doing it this way, or I didn't mean to do fraud. Don't you think everyone would just say, I didn't mean to do fraud? Your ex-girlfriend could have said that about her credit card fraud. Hi, babe. Be rational, though. Anyone can wish for me to go to jail and hope I'm going to get caught, whatever, but in all reality, how long was I really working off the books and avoiding child support or being disability fraud and all that? Like, it was 2 weeks max, maybe 3. You're telling me I'm going to get locked up forever because of 3 weeks of a disability discrepancy? Come on now. Plus, I'll have a lawyer, and he'll understand and help me with my case. All right. I just love you, and I don't want to have a boyfriend that's in jail. Your life's already crazy enough. This is not what I expected. This is not what I started dating you for. I think when it comes to this, everyone's grasping at straws, and that's all Miranda's ever done, is grasp at straws when it comes to trying to get me in trouble. And it never works. I may have 2 strikes in this child custody thing, but I still have my two days visitation rights. I know, but I'm letting you know now that if you go to jail, like, that's not gonna work for me. I'm not gonna be one of those girlfriends that go and visit you and try to make it work, you know? Yeah, but you know the crazy thing is, I could go to jail, serve a lengthy sentence, and there would still be haters who would say, oh, he's not getting punished, or he did whatever, you know what I'm saying? So there's no winning, there's no appeasing anyone who wants to see me get caught. What you want to talk to me about? Alright, I want to bring something up but I don't want it to be a huge deal. I just want us to talk about it and not blow it out of proportion.
Alright, well, Miranda, when you put it like that, it sounds like whatever you're about to say is going to be a big deal.
Okay, well, I'll keep it brief. I want you to move in.
Oh. It's not what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but... Wow. Okay.
You've proven to me time and time again that you love me and I can trust you and you're great with Junior. We've been together long enough. You're on the stepfather stuff in the custody agreement. I don't see a reason why we don't need to live together, if that makes sense.
Miranda, you don't have to give me reasons why you want me to move in with you. We're having a baby together. I hope you feel the same way that I do. I've been thinking about this for a long time.
Alright, well, it's easy for me to sit here and tell you to move in. I should have asked you, though, do you, want to move in? I know you're good with your space. You're an independent person. I don't want to force anything on you. And I don't want you to do anything just because I asked for it.
Of course I want to move in. I've been thinking about this since you and Joey separated. And I just never brought it up. Because I don't want to come off as pushy. You have eyes on you. People watch you. And I never want to come off as someone who's pushing things onto you. Or what do you do to come to me about it?
And I feel silly because the only reason I didn't ask you was because I just didn't think you were the type of person to move in. I don't know why I thought that, but that's why I didn't ask.
If I didn't want to, I wouldn't have hinted at it so many times. I wouldn't have slept over it so many times. And I wanted this for a long time, Miranda. I'm glad you asked.
Okay. Well, that's really great to hear. I'm happy about that. I think Junior will be happy for you to live here. The only issue is family court, and I don't know how this plays into the custody agreement.
Miranda, I'm in the stepfather provision thing in the agreement. We went to court for that. This is your life, your house. I don't really think family court has a say when it comes to who moves in.
I know you have the stepfather provision and you're allowed to be around Junior, but are you allowed to move into my house?
Given the parameters of your custody agreement, having your boyfriend move in at this time is something I would have to look into. I can't give you a definite answer right now, but it does sound like something that might need approval.
What do you mean I need to get approval? This angers me because we went to court and we put my boyfriend on as a stepfather. He has stepfather provisions to be around my son, and you're telling me he just can't move in? Or that there's another it doesn't make sense. He's allowed to be around him, but he just can't live here?
Just because you have full custody, there are still provisions in your custody agreement and rules to abide by and what's allowed during that custody agreement, especially since your ex-husband still does have entitlement to your son in some form or fashion. You understand? So, again, it's just something I have to look into. I can't give you an answer right now.
Alright, I really don't know what that means. Let me ask you, does my ex-husband need to approve this in any way? He has 2 days visitation rights. I don't really think he has to say in this situation.
See, that's one of those things that I don't want to stand here and give you an answer when it could be wrong. I don't want to tell you that he does need to approve it when he might not have to. Again, you're not the only person who I deal with in terms of cases. There's a lot of different cases that I deal with, and I don't know all the rules by heart, if that makes sense. Our relationship has been fine without us living together. I still get to see you, I still get to love you, I still get to help you in your life. So I'm not losing anything by hearing what they told you. But it does piss me off, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Because I've stayed over plenty of times. It's almost like I am living here already.
In all honesty, and I love when you sleep over, I really do. But now looking back at everything, I don't even know if that was allowed. I don't know if we were breaking rules in this custody agreement.
I try to make sense of it. I really do. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. They have their policies. It's a unique town to live in. But how does it make sense that I have stepfather provisions and I can't live with my stepson?
I looked through it. There's nothing saying anything about you moving in, you know? But just because there's nothing that says anything about it doesn't mean, like, it doesn't prohibit it from what I looked at.
So, is that on us? Is that an oversight? Should we have added that? Yeah, I thought that was a given. Okay, I'm have my stepfather provisions. I thought it was a given that I could move in whenever I wanted to.
Like, I have the document on my phone, and it pretty much just says, like, you're allowed to be around Junior. There's nothing that prohibits you. It lists you as, like, a stepfather, but nothing about moving in.
So it all boils down to technicalities. It's like a game of football, right? It's frustrating. You know, I'm just grateful I have you, but it doesn't make sense if we're having a baby together and I can't move in.
I have a feeling that it's kind of like one of those things we should have added, and I don't know.
You know, I like this town because it's worked in your favor so far, and ever since you moved here, I feel like your life has been a lot better. But there is a part of this town that makes me feel like all we ever do is jump through hoops.
But the reason I'm not getting upset is because no matter what, we've always, like, since I moved here, we've always come out on top with everything. From the child support adjustment stuff, fine, I got a little less money, but I'm still getting $150 a week. You got added on the stepfather provision stuff. The initial custody hearing, I got full custody. I don't like that Joey has 2 days visitation rights, but at least he didn't wind up with full custody, so at least we kind of always come out on top. You know, that child custody agent that comes during the supervised visits came over to have me fill out some forms or whatever regarding my child support. And I snooped through his book, and he had like this little note that said that Miranda's trying to get her boyfriend to move in. You know, I understand he has that stepfather provision stuff, but that doesn't give him a right to move in with my kid, you know? I know, once again, it's really messed up. I feel bad for you. You know, I really try not to be a dick to Miranda or about her or anything. I try not to talk trash about her, and I really do try not to be mad all the time. But, like, I have to put my head to the pillow at night and think about my son being around another man, being there for breakfast, walking him to school, packing his lunch. It's not easy for me, and I know I've made mistakes, but for those mistakes, I never get a redemption. And it's only because, like, a lot of people just don't like me. And that's not fair, because I have certain perspectives on things in as a father, or the system of child support and all that. Like, I'm not allowed to have an opinion. I'm a scumbag for that, you know? And it just pisses me off. Like, I do love my son, and I'm never allowed to redeem myself for those mistakes. Alright, well, I don't think he's going to be moving in anytime soon or getting approval for that, because I don't know if you've heard about the allegations against him that just dropped. Look,